They were called the women of the inner palace, chosen for their beauty, locked away for life, and forced into a world where a single mistake, a wrong glance, a whispered rumor, or even a dream could cost them everything. Tonight, we step inside the walls where China's most powerful women lived, and where some of its most horrifying tragedies unfolded. This is the cruel life of the Emperor's Harem. Welcome back to the channel, and if you love hidden history, dark stories, and the secrets the world tries to forget, make sure to subscribe and stay with me until the end, because today we uncover a world built on beauty, sustained by fear, and ruled by one man, a world that millions never escaped. And before this video ends, you'll learn the truth behind the silent rivalries, the deadly punishments, the psychological warfare, and the heartbreaking human stories buried inside China's Forbidden Palace. It all began with the selection. Every few years, officials traveled across China searching for the most perfect teenage girls. They inspected everything: their face, posture, voice, teeth, skin, even how they walked. For many families, it was an honor. For the girls, it was the end of their old life. Once chosen, they were taken to the Forbidden City, never again to see their village, their friends, or even their parents. Inside the palace, their identities were stripped away. New clothes, new duties, new name. And from that moment on, every second of their life belonged to the emperor. The harem was called the inner court, but the women had another name for it: the golden cage. From the outside, it looked breathtaking. Marble floors, silk curtains, endless halls painted with dragons and phoenixes. But the truth was much darker. They were not allowed to leave. They were monitored day and night. Their letters were read and censored. Their conversations were overheard. And no man, except the emperor or eunuchs, could ever speak to them. Women who once played in the fields now lived in silence, walking carefully, speaking quietly, and smiling politely, even when they were breaking inside. Freedom, one concubine wrote in her diary, was something we could see but never touch. The harem had over 2,000 women at its peak under some dynasties, but they weren't equal. Your entire life depended on your rank. 1. Empress, the official wife. 2. Consorts, powerful, influential. 3. Concubines, middle tier. 4. Maidens, lowest class, no privileges. But here is the cruel part. Your rank could change overnight, based on the emperor's attention. A single night with him could elevate a girl to unimaginable power. But being ignored meant your life faded into silence. This created a world of constant rivalry. Whisper campaigns, false accusations, sabotaged clothing, poisoned food, framing innocent maidens. Every woman wanted the emperor's affection, not for love, but for survival. Because the emperor's favorite had everything, and the forgotten ones were left to rot behind palace walls for decades. To modern viewers, it might seem glamorous, the emperor visiting a concubine's chamber. But for many women, it was one of the most terrifying moments of their life. Before the emperor entered, eunuchs bathed him. The woman had to undergo an inspection. Her bedding was prepared, her clothes were checked, and she had to greet him properly or risk severe punishment. If she upset him, she could be demoted, punished, or exiled to the cold palace, a place nobody ever came back from. And if she became pregnant, her entire future changed instantly. But if she couldn't or wouldn't, the whispers began. Rumors were deadly in the harem. one rumor could destroy you. The cold palace wasn't cold because of temperature. It was cold because it was abandoned. It was the place where women were sent to disappear. No servants, no food besides scraps, no medical care, no visitors, no hope. Some women lived their final years there, forgotten by the emperor, forgotten by history. Their only crime, being disliked or being in the way. One wrong word, one jealous rival, and you were erased. In the harem, the birth of a son was the greatest weapon a woman could have. A son meant protection, wealth, political influence, a lifelong role in the court. But giving birth was also dangerous. If the emperor was old or the empress felt threatened, newborns mysteriously fell ill and died. Some historians believe that more babies were killed in the palace than we will ever know, because a mother with a prince was powerful, too powerful. History recorded many heartbreaking stories of harem life, but here are two of the most chilling. Consort Zhen, Pearl Consort, loved by Emperor Guangxu, hated by Empress Dowager Cixi. When the Eight-Nation Army invaded Beijing, Zhen begged to flee with the emperor. Cixi's response? She ordered eunuchs to throw Zhen into a well. Her grave still sits in the Forbidden City today. The fragrant concubine, a woman taken from her homeland against her will. The emperor adored her. She despised him. Some say she died mysteriously. Others say she took her own life. In the harem, love was not a blessing. It was a danger. For nearly 2,000 years, the imperial harem shaped the course of China. Wars were influenced, politics shifted, dynasties rose and fell because of the women behind the palace walls. But in 1912, when the last emperor abdicated, the harem system finally collapsed. The gates opened, the women walked free, but many had nowhere to go. Their families were gone, their youth spent, their skills outdated. They walked into a new China as strangers. We often imagine queens and concubines living lives of luxury, but behind the gold and silk was a reality built on fear, loneliness, and silent suffering. The emperor had thousands of women, but many of them died without ever being seen. So here's the question. Was the imperial harem a paradise of privilege or the most beautiful prison in history? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you want more forgotten history, more dark stories, and more truths the world rarely talks about, make sure to like the video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications.